Welcome to the Sisters Like Us podcast. I'm Lakin.
And I'm Allie, and we're here to share our perspectives as sisters from two different generations.
So grab a glass of wine
Or a bottle.
and let's dive in.
We're back.
It may feel like no time to you has passed because it will hopefully have just been a week from the last episode, but it has been a while since we have recorded. So this is episode 7 of the Sisters Like Us podcast.
7.
Which is exciting. Lucky number 7. And we thought we would do an episode on like media. So TV shows, music, movies. Movies is going to be a little bit harder, but definitely TV shows and music, that ones that each of us like separately that the other one is like, no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And then where we kind of overlap.
I don't know. I feel like this could be like multiple episodes.
It probably can. And there's going to be things we forget. There are
Yeah.
going to be things that later tonight we're both going to be like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
You know, and some of this comes down to preference, and we have very similar personalities, so I think we do have some similar preferences,
Mm-hmm.
but there are definitely things that one of us, like, absolutely loves that the other one is like, no thank you.
Yeah. I feel like we should start with, like, the TV shows that we watched, like, in, like, high school and stuff.
Okay.
Because that was, like, what, for me, like, 2015.
Yeah, and for me it was about 10 years before that. Okay, so I'll start. And I also think these typically... Let us know if you can relate. The shows you watched in high school also tend to be the ones that like are your kind of go-to comfort shows. Yeah, that you go back to and like rewatch when you need some comfort.
Yeah, or just like in the background. Like I'll
Yes.
throw it on before going to bed, you know.
So some of mine from high school, for sure, Friends, which has then carried over in, I mean, I watch Friends all of the time.
Yeah, not a fan. I've realized I'm not a fan of like sitcom-y shows, so like I don't like the laughter in the background. I don't like the like you could watch like any episode and like it'll make sense. Like I know Friends has a little bit more of a storyline, but like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's both. Most of the sitcoms are both, right? Where there's like an overarching storyline with the characters, but then there is a piece of the episode that is contained within that episode.
Right.
Also, Gilmore Girls is a huge one for me,
Mm-hmm.
but that one also really comes down to my relationship with Mom too, because we got Gilmore Girls on DVD, and Mom, when I was in high school, and I can't remember if we really touched on this in our like storyline, like our background episode,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was in high school, Mom wasn't married at the time, and half the time when you and Parker were at your dad's, it was just me and Mom.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of alone time.
Yeah.
And so we watched all of Gilmore Girls on DVD together.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, first off, DVDs, that could be a weird media topic in and of
Yeah.
itself. But we watched all of them together. So I love the show, but it's also my relationship with Mom too, and watching them with her.
It's like on Netflix and stuff now, and I've like tried to watch it, but it just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I just don't like it.
I also, you know, it's funny. I also can see, I relate a lot to even though now when I watch it, she is so annoying, but Rory, the like younger girl in Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, maybe that's it. She's kind of annoying.
She's kind of annoying, but when I watched it in high school, she's kind of a nerd, and you know, like she really cares about school, and like I feel like I really related to her a lot.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that was part of it too, was I really related to Rory then. And so that, I don't know, I feel like that helps. So I watch it a lot. And then the new version, like the reboot, which is not near as good as the original.
I didn't even know there was a reboot.
Yeah, it's like 4 movie-length episodes. It's called A Year in the Life, and they do the 4 seasons. So it's like an hour and a half-ish, and it's all 4 seasons.
Interesting.
So that came out when Mom and I were down in Texas during Mima's like last few weeks. And Mom and I were staying at Mima's by ourselves. And while Papa was with Mima at the home. And so that was when Mom and I watched that together. And so that, even though it's not near as good, that also has meaning to me in like a totally different way. So Gilmore Girls for sure for me.
I feel like my biggest too, but like I would like to preface that I watch shows like after they already happened. So like I watched like Gossip Girl in high school, and that like had already ended, like, and you had watched it like when it came out on TV. Right?
Yeah, I did Gossip Girl like half and half. So I jumped in season 3 or 4 and had to play catch up and then watched it live from there. But Gossip Girl is one of our overlaps. I also love Gossip Girl.
Yeah, that's definitely a comfort show. But I think, honestly, I have a comfort show that kind of goes above it. Like 90210 is one of my favorite shows.
I have never watched it.
And but the newer one. Like there's like an older one that's like maybe like the 80s. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot of the characters that were like the high schoolers like in that are like the teachers and like the new one. And like it's actually them. Like they use the same names and stuff. Like it's supposed.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like. It's kind of like the High School Musical with, like, the High School Musical, the musical series type thing. Like, it's like they have the same characters and stuff. Yeah, so that's, like, one of my top, like, all-time favorite shows.
Interesting.
And I have probably watched that show, like, straight through, like, 6 times.
Okay.
But also, same with Gossip Girl. Like, Gossip Girl is, like, I'm, like, I have opinions on the different seasons. I'm, like, I hate the Juliet phase. Like, I, like, you know, but...
Does anyone like the Juliet
No, but,
phase?
like, I skip the Juliet phase. That's how much I hate it. Like, I hate her.
Very annoying.
I was a big TV show watcher, but I feel like, so Teen Wolf was one of the shows that I watched, and I watched that on TV.
Okay.
That, like, came out weekly. And then Pretty Little Liars as well. Because Pretty Little Liars did come out weekly when I don't even know how old I was, but, like, that was, like, the biggest thing, like, when we would talk about in school, like, oh my God, who's A? Like, we're going to find out tonight. Like,
yes.
And you never found out.
Yeah. I had to give up on that show. Cause I
gave up on it too.
I couldn't deal anymore with it. It was just getting out of control.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's, because obviously I didn't watch Friends, or I just explained Gilmore Girls live. The one thing I did watch live, also again, my relationship with Mom, was Grey's Anatomy. Kind of the same concept as like a sitcom. Yeah, there's overarching themes, but each episode.
I feel like that one's way more like a story.
Compared to Friends, yes, but compared to Gossip Girl, no. Like the episodes are still like the medical aspects of each episode is contained within the episode, like the patients. Mm-hmm. The doctors are the overarching story, but the patients are contained within that episode typically.
Yeah. I've watched a few seasons of Grey's Anatomy, but that's one of the shows like I kind of gave up on because it just like it made me so sad.
It's a little sad.
It's just a lot, and like I couldn't handle it. Like it wasn't one of those shows that I could just like I like having a show I can just throw on, and I can't do that with Grey's Anatomy because you have to. I feel like it's so like I have to be in the right mood.
That's fair.
It's like, do I want to watch someone like almost die? Like I don't know, like
or probably die. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like at least one patient dies in every episode.
Yeah, and then like the plane crash, like that was like where I stopped.
It gets a little intense, and when you think about the number of bad things that happen to them, you're like, that can't possibly, like that many bad things can't possibly happen.
Yeah,
to those
no,
people.
seriously, yeah.
But Mom and I watched that live because we watched Desperate Housewives together live, which we gave up on when Grey's. So we watched Desperate Housewives live, and then Grey's started this time slot after. Mm-hmm. So we just kept watching, and then they moved to Thursdays. We gave up on Desperate Housewives, and here I am. I can't freaking give up Grey's, even though.
Oh my God, I'm like, I honestly respect people that can watch all that because that is, I mean, they have a new season every year, I swear to God.
No, there is. We're on season like 17, 18, 19.
I mean, it's insane.
But you know what's funny? This is just like a fun, small fun fact. So I had 6 bridesmaids. You, Mom, my sister-in-law, so my husband's sister, and then I had 3 friends. All 3 of those friends all also still watch Grey's Anatomy. Like that was like a weird thing that we all
That's
had
a commitment for sure.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I watched live.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad we talked about that though because I did remember Pretty Little Liars, but I've tried actually to go back and rewatch that show.
Me too. I can't.
And it is quite cheesy. It is bad.
It is bad.
It's pretty bad.
Neither of us brought up Greek.
Oh my God. And I feel like most people actually don't know about this show.
Yeah.
People in your generation might. But I feel like when I talk about Greek with my friends, like they're like, I have literally never heard of that in my life. And that is another show that I have probably watched 3 or 4 times straight through. I've watched it with my friends to like show them the show. Oh my God, it is so good. I just love it.
I cannot remember if I watched it live or not.
I
must have.
Yeah, because it's on Hulu and it's pretty old. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
But
I think it came out when I was either about to go to college or I was in college. So it was like...
Yeah, you're right. I think it is about like the 2008 area.
Yeah, and I graduated in 2009. So I feel like it did line up well with like my college experience.
Yeah, no, I think 100%.
I'm trying to remember
because I feel like it's right at that time.
I'm trying to remember because one thing that is different is the ability to watch shows right away. When I was in college, was very different than when you were in college, right?
Yeah.
And so there were definitely shows that we would all pile on the couch in the sorority house to watch live. Grey's was one of those. Greek was one of those that we would like sit on the couch and watch together. Anybody who watched it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, things being on Hulu 24 hours later was like not.
Yeah. Yeah. But when I watched Greek, all of it was on there.
Oh, yeah. By the time you watched it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other shows that I watched that I like remember.
Again, I'm probably going to kick myself later and be like, how did you not think of whatever insert show here?
I was never really a huge reality TV person until now, I would say. Because there is just some good shows out there about like love that are just, I mean, okay. Are we moving on to like recent now?
Oh, like stuff we watch now. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so like I'm like a big fan of like Love Island and like Too Hot to Handle.
You can't see me shaking my head if you're not watching on YouTube. Oh.
But I will say the only times I watch Love Island is if I'm watching like live. So like it comes out like on Peacock or something like every day or whatever. Because it is the longest show on the planet. It is like 45 episodes. And like
per season?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there is so many seasons. There's Australia, there's UK, and there's USA. And there's so many seasons on each. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Some people are like really keep up with that, but no, I'm just enjoying the season right now.
Okay. I don't do reality TV. I didn't then. I did. The only reality TV I can ever really claim is I watched Survivor with my dad.
Love Survivor. Love Survivor.
I can't believe that's still on. They're on season like a million at this point.
Oh my gosh. It's insane. I watched that with my with my roommates when I lived with my roommates, and we like would be like, okay, what season are we watching? Like,
that's the only reality TV show I feel like I've ever really gotten into.
Yeah, I feel like right now like The Bachelor and Bachelorette have been really popular. I think the whole concept is insane.
It is.
And some seasons are very entertaining.
I'm sure.
But like this most recent season, like no offense, but it was just not that.
Yeah.
You know, like I was just bored. I'm like, oh, but of course I want to know who won. But like, it's just
not it.
But Bachelor in Paradise, which is they take a handful of people from all of the seasons and throw them on a beach together. And there are more successful couples out of Bachelor in Paradise than there is from like Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Regular.
Like it's crazy.
Well, but you're also picking from options at that point as opposed to like 1-to-1.
And not dating the same guy as 30 other women.
Right. I just can't fathom.
I mean, I would be so insecure and so jealous. And people are like, oh, like, why is this person acting like this? I'm like, well, I think you would act like that too if you were on that show.
How could you not?
Yeah.
I also realized something that I watched both in high school and now also still keep up with. Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, I'm not a crime junkie gal. I mean, I am. Like, I'm very fascinated by things that I fear. So, like, I am fascinated by crime and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But, like, I get scared.
Okay. That's fair.
It's too close to home.
I love Olivia Benson. That is, like, the one TV show I chased down in New York to see them film.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was that obsessed.
I just thought of another show that we may have both watched. I watched Secret Life of American Teenager.
Oh, yeah. I watched that in real time.
Okay, so
ABC Family.
I watched that on Hulu. That is the cheesiest show I've ever watched in my entire life. Like, if you go back and okay, The OC, did you ever watch The OC?
I did not.
Okay, so I watched The OC. I actually have a friend that I went to school with, and her mom plays the mom. Like, the redheaded mom. If people have watched it, they know who I'm talking about. But she also played on Vampire Diaries, Matt Donovan's mom, and anyway, so hey CG, if you're listening to this, she also has a podcast with her mom. So
that's so cute.
Yeah, and they have like the actual Vampire Diaries cast on it, so it's really cool.
Oh, that's really cool. We're over here about to have just our mom, who's not famous.
Yeah, so. Backtracking. I'm literally just going everywhere. But yeah, that show was very cheesy. But my point is that the Shailene Woodley, who plays the main character,
right, yes,
in Secret Life, is like a little kid in the OC. Like, she's like 10.
And then she goes on to be the Divergent girl.
Yeah. Shailene Woodley. Yeah.
Right?
I have a lot of opinions about Shailene Woodley.
Okay. But you love Divergent.
Divergent is mine. So we can move on
I do think we can move on to movies. I do think movies is going to be harder, but you love Divergent.
I love movies. Okay, I just love movies and TV shows. Like, I could talk about me and Parker.
Yeah, what's the app?
Me and Parker have this app called Parker is Our Brother, if you haven't watched the first episode. and it's called Letterboxd, and you literally can rate movies, and so him and I will, like, compare ours. He's seen a bajillion more movies than I have, but it's so fun because you watch a movie and then you get to go and rate it and see what other people rated it. But yeah, so if we're talking, like, Divergent and, like, sci-fi trilogies, like, we differ here because Divergent is my favorite sci-fi trilogy, and then Maze Runner is my second favorite, and then I guess Hunger Games. Like, I don't love Hunger Games.
Well, I never read or watched Maze Runner, so I can't really have an opinion.
I did read those books and watch I love the first one. The other two are not as good, but also Dylan O'Brien is Love My Life.
I'm also more of a reader than you are. So did you read Divergent and or Hunger Games?
So I read both.
Okay.
I was not a reader at that time when those came out, but I read more now.
Now you do, yeah. But back then, when those movies came out,
I did read those. Like, I remember sitting on the couch reading Divergent, and I literally was seeing the movie that night, and I was, like, forcing myself to finish it. And I'm like, okay, skip. Is this important? No, I'm kidding. But, yeah. I love too bad about the Divergent series. The last movie is really bad, as well as the book. And same with Maze Runner. The last movie is not as good, and Hunger Games just stays good, which I feel like is like something that
we recently actually rewatched both of those series, Sam and I, and
Maze Runner too.
No, sorry, Divergent and Hunger Games.
Have you seen Maze Runner?
No, I have not.
Yeah, most people haven't, and I will have to say, so I probably watched it / read it to start because I like Dylan O'Brien. Dylan O'Brien's also in Teen Wolf.
Okay.
So that's where my love for him started.
Okay.
When people are like, oh, I love Dylan O'Brien, but I haven't seen that, I literally call him a fake fan because that's some of his best work. It is so good. And he's such a good actor in it.
Where does Twilight fall in this?
Oh! Don't even get me started. Not me forgetting. See, I would have beat myself up if we forgot to talk about Twilight because... See, you read Twilight.
Yep.
And I had your books in my bookshelf in my room. That was once I don't know. We did some sort of switch.
Yeah, I was just talking to Mom about that the other day, this tangent about who lived in what rooms and how many times we all switched rooms.
Yeah. I did not read Twilight, but I am an avid Twilight watcher. I definitely watch the series once a year. Big fan.
Yes,
big
and
fan.
You are
Team Edward, for sure. What's recently come out is The Summer I Turned Pretty, which
I haven't watched yet.
I haven't watched I have definitely watched, but I have not read.
Okay.
You should watch it. I told Mom to start watching it. It's super cheesy. Like, it feels like you're 16 and in love again, whatever. But so there's like two brothers. So it's like, are you Team Conrad or Jeremiah?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing y'all talk about that the other day.
And so people are like having this whole debate. Where it's like, oh, well, if you're Team Jeremiah, you're like Team Edward and Team Stefan and Team, like, from each
of those.
Or like One Tree Hill, which we can talk about too, is like Team Lucas. Like, and then if you're Team Conrad, you're like,
Team
the
Jacob,
bad boy. Yeah, Team Jacob, Team Damon, which the guy who plays Jeremiah in The Summer I Turned Pretty actually played young Damon in Vampire Diaries, which is why it's funny because they're not.
Oh. I've actually never watched Vampire Diaries either. I think I loved Twilight because it was probably one of the first series I read that was very like besides Harry Potter, that was like a series that I loved and like was romance. So I fell in love with the books and then the movies came out.
Yeah, Vampire Diaries is pretty cheesy. It's really popular in my generation. I feel like I don't meet a lot of people who haven't watched Vampire Diaries. As well as One Tree Hill is one of the... Sorry, moving back to TV shows. I knew
we're kind of bouncing around.
One Tree Hill is also an older show, like 2000s-ish. You didn't watch One Tree Hill,
No,
right?
I didn't.
You would actually really like One Tree Hill, so you should watch it.
Where is it? Is it California? No, where is it set?
It's One Tree... It's like... I'm totally going to butcher this. I feel like it's like North Carolina or like it's some like suburb, like small town.
I don't know why I thought it was California. I might be mixing it up with the OC.
Yeah.
Or 90210.
I like the like older shows. I think I maybe have just gathered.
Well, there isn't anything new. Not that I'm going to watch necessarily a new show about high schoolers with the exception of High School Musical, the musical series. But that is because... I also think bouncing back between movies and TV is working because there's overlap, right? So High School Musical, the original movies, literally came out when I was in high school. And our high school mascot was the Wildcats. Mm-hmm. So the number of times that they played We're All in This Together at Nequa pep rallies is bananas.
High School Musical, absolutely love. We watched, when the second one came out, we watched it together.
I'm sure.
Because I remember I was, like, at Parker's football game, and I was like, oh, my God, like, it's coming out on Disney Channel tonight. I have to go home and watch it. So.
And so then, of course, when High School Musical, the series came out, of course I had to watch it.
Oh, same, yeah. And also, I just love Olivia Rodrigo, and then, like, the Joshua Bassett drama that just, like, made it so much better.
Yeah, and I love, gosh, I'm not, what's the redhead? She's also on Broadway now. Love her too.
She's really cute. Yeah. I actually just, because season 4 just came out, and I just went back and started season 3 over again because I needed to, like, re-educate myself because I could not for the life of me remember what happened.
Season 3 is a little all over the place because they're doing Frozen, and so it's
no, maybe it was season 2 that I went and rewatched it, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, it's season 2.
Oh my God.
I love it.
There's just so much. Good music too, honestly.
The music is good. Both the music that they do that it's from whatever musical they're doing that season, but then also the originals.
Yeah. Trying to think of other, like, more recent shows, like...
Yeah, I was also trying to think of something more recent. I
mean, like, Jane the Virgin. Have you seen that show? I watched that. Pretty good. No, I'm, like, this is the problem. Like, I'm, like, blanking on, like, what show... I'm, like, trying to think of Netflix. And, like, it's, like, what I've watched.
Yeah.
Have you seen Insatiable? With Debbie Ryan? That's an interesting show. It's, like, she's, like, a pageant girl. I guess we could talk about... In the meantime, we could talk about Barbie.
Okay.
That just came out because I loved it, but there was a lot of different opinions on it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like by the time you are listening or watching this, it will have been a while since Barbie came out, but when we are recording it, it is the hype, and I liked it. I think it was overhyped, which I think is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Is that I went in with these expectations of, like, this movie's going to blow my mind, I'm going to cry my eyes out, and, blah, blah, blah. And it was cute, and it was good. But I
will say, you also went to see it towards the end, and so it had been even more hyped up. Where I saw it, like...
The day it came out.
Right, the day it came out. So, like, I was, like, pleasantly surprised because it hadn't been as hyped yet. Not everyone had seen it. I thought it was really good. I thought the message was great. There were some times when I was like, what is going on? Like, the plot just, like, didn't... I feel like it just didn't align.
It was a little long, I think, longer than I think it needed to be.
I would also say that, like, if it was not Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, it would have been bad. Like, I don't think it would have been good. Because, like, they're so, like, perfect for those roles. Like, not even because of the way they look. Like, literally just because they're funny and, like, they just, like, did a good job.
Yeah, they were great. I also love America Ferrera, and I have since Gotta Kick It Up days, which, well, that is a whole other category that we could pseudo-tackle, which is the Disney Channel TV shows / movies. Before we go there, anything else on Barbie? I just overall was... Yeah,
I mean, I think I gave it on my Letterboxd, like 4 stars. Okay. But I'm pretty generous on Letterboxd, so...
Yeah, okay.
Anyways.
I probably would have given it a 3, but I think it's interesting because I think it can show how your expectations can impact your reaction.
Oh, 100%.
Because I was expecting... like this movie that was going to blow my mind. And again, I cry very easily in general. In life, I'm a very sensitive, emotional, I wear my heart on my sleeves kind of person.
Same.
So I cry at most movies. If there's a sentimental moment, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
Pregnancy hormones make that even crazier.
Right.
So I was expecting to, like, bawl my eyes out at this movie, to be totally honest with you. And I just teared up.
I didn't cry, but I did tear up.
And so I was like, okay.
But it's also been, like, something that, like, I've more gathered from it that I've seen on TikTok, that people have just, like, girlhood and, like, just, like, being a girl and, like, like, those kinds of things. There's, like, the sound where it's, like, hold my hand and feel, or, like, whatever, like, when the old woman, like, says that. I don't remember. But then people are putting, like, videos, kind of like how it did in the movie. But, like, people are putting, like, videos of when they were, like, younger and stuff. And, like, when they were, like, moms and sisters and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. Or, like, best friends.
Yeah, that's cute. I mean, it's cute. I also, one difference between us that relates to this, I'm not a movie theater person.
I love the movie theater. That's my top, like, activity. I love going to the movies. I have almost many times gotten the Regal membership, and the only reason why I don't is because there is an off season for movies, and because if I'm with my friends and they're like, oh, well, we're going to go to the AMC, like, that would suck for me because I would have to then pay for a movie that I could have gotten for free.
Yeah, I'm not a big movie theater person. I just think it's expensive. Pregnant or not, I don't like to wait that long not going to the bathroom. And unless it is something that needs to be seen on a big screen and I benefit from that visual, like Avatar or like something like that.
It's another sci-fi trilogy.
It's not a trilogy.
Well, like
there's 2
series.
Yeah. I don't feel the need to go to the movies. Now, Barbie, in my opinion, didn't need to be seen on a big screen. Like it's fine. It was the timing. I didn't want to wait any longer because everybody was talking about it.
Yeah. I don't think Barbie would have been as good if it wasn't on a big screen.
Oh, I don't know if that's true.
But anyways, let's move on.
No, let's go back to...
and then we might have to save this for another episode.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to music. There's no way.
Yeah, so.
But we can't not talk about Disney Channel shows and then Disney Channel movies, which we did a little bit with High School Musical, but...
See, but this might... Because everyone in Disney is a music star, this might go over into music anyway.
We'll see. Okay, so Hannah Montana.
Right.
I remember teaching the Hoedown Throwdown at your birthday party.
I'm a huge fan, Hannah Montana. When I go on Disney Plus, if I'm going to watch a show, it's going to be that or Wizards of Waverly Place.
And actually, same.
I love Wizards of Waverly Place. But Hannah Montana is just like, it's so funny and so entertaining and like actually makes sense. Like, I feel like some other shows are like,
some other shows don't make. Lizzie McGuire is the other one I'll go to.
I've never seen Lizzie McGuire. So I didn't watch that. I've seen the movie, obviously.
Which is also epic.
Yeah. I don't know. There were a couple that like Jessie like became a thing and like
that was after my time.
I was still a little bit old for that, I think, but I definitely would say that I watch Disney, probably older than most people.
Oh, yeah, I mean, same. And not just because you were there. But
what else, though?
But it goes into the movies. So, I mean, the Lizzie McGuire show and the Lizzie McGuire movie. The Cheetah Girls? Were you too young for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've seen the Cheetah Girls movies.
I love the Cheetah Girls. Like, if I'm going to go watch movies in Disney Plus, I will watch the Cheetah Girls movies, 1, 2, 3. I will watch...
the Hannah Montana movie?
Yeah, for sure the Hannah Montana movie. There's another series, though, that I, like, will watch 1, 2, 3 and wow, I'm going to hate myself afterwards.
I recently watched the Wizards of Waverly Place movie where they, like, go on vacation and, like...
I don't usually watch that.
That was actually pretty decent as well. I enjoyed that.
Obviously, Halloween Town when it's Halloween season.
Love Halloween Town. Definitely watch that. And they came out with the new Hocus Pocus movie, but it wasn't very good.
I was thinking more like the movies that aired originally on Disney Channel. Yeah. And now really Disney, like I'm pretty sure I got Disney Plus just to have access to those movies.
I mean, like that, like if we're talking comfort, like that's major comfort. Yeah, that just feels right.
And you're right. There is a big transition of like all of those people. You talk about Camp Rock and the Jonas Brothers, like and all of them, they transition into but we're not going to talk about their music. But like literally Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Camp Rock, all 3 of those have somebody who then went on to have a music career.
Love Camp Rock. Like I will rewatch Camp Rock any day.
Yeah, I don't regularly watch it.
There's another one. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm thinking of the same one, like a series. I don't know, but if we're talking High School Musical, I mean, the third one.
Maybe it's just High School.
I will say the third one is 100% the best.
It's the best music, for sure.
Best music, 100%. Yeah. But I honestly think it might be the best one, too.
I don't know. I guess I'm just so nostalgic for the first one.
Maybe what I hate about the first one is that Drew Seeley sings for Zac Efron in the first one. Did you know that?
I don't think I knew that.
That's not Zac Efron's voice. His voice didn't drop yet.
But then he sings for himself in 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Huh.
And Drew Seeley, there's like all the Cinderella movies, so like another Cinderella story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that one has Selena Gomez in it.
There's also a lot of like old flashback Disney movies that I like to watch on Disney Plus, like Freaky Friday,
great,
The Parent Trap.
Oh, yeah. Just those, like classics, yeah.
But I also feel like we can align on those because I watched them and then I made you watch them.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
probably what happened.
I mean, I feel like, those were ones that we just, like, had on DVD Because that was another thing, too, is, like, when you, like, went to college and, like, I was still pretty young, like, I had all of your books and all of your DVDs. So I watched, like, a lot of, like, you know, DVDs that you had, and those, I was probably, like, The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, like, you know, the Lizzie McGuire movie, like, you know, but.
I left all those behind and just consume all of them and.
Yeah.
Now they're all in Disney Plus.
And maybe that could be why, like, I have seen like Greek and like One Tree Hill and like the OC because like I just like was used to watching things that were like a little bit
older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
That's very possible. All right, I feel like this episode is already pretty long.
It's got to be entertaining though, because I'm sure people's opinions are flowing in their head.
And I'm sure we've forgotten stuff that we could have talked about. And I thought we were going to fit music into this episode, but clearly I was wrong.
No.
So that'll have to be a different episode. But let us know down in the comments, what is your number one like comfort show? What do you turn on in the background? You just need to watch something for the millionth time.
Yeah. Is yours Gossip Girl?
It depends on my mood.
Yeah, me too. It depends on my mood.
It's going to be Friends, Gilmore Girls, or Gossip Girl for me.
Yeah,
one of those
it's
three.
going to be 90210, One Tree Hill, or Gossip Girl.
It also depends kind of on the season. You know, for whatever reason, Gilmore Girls just has this fall vibe that I always end up going with. So
can't wait for that. Anyways.
So good. All right. See you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.